With the ban on daytime outdoor exercise, joggers wait for 7 p.m. to head to the banks of the Seine, and they do so in large numbers.
It helps me clear my mind, otherwise it's too hard to always stay at home.
People who don't jog and stay confined for 1.5 or 2 months will lose their nerves. They're bound to become unstable. I have no such tendencies, but I'm still feeling anxiety mount.
Over 200,000 Parisians fled shortly before the lockdown came into effect. They joined relatives living outside the capital or rented homes in the countryside. Charles and Eva's parents being in the age group at risk, the couple decided to go just with their children to the south of France. A costly move as they also have to pay rent in Paris, but they rule out going back before the end of confinement.
We are now working from home, and it is so key to have our kids being able to stay outside, play outside, have fun, and not in a very confined space in a small apartment. We do a lot of video calls, so we don't feel isolated at all. In fact, our daughter just turned 6 the other day, and we had a Zoom birthday party, which was a lot of fun. So that allowed her to keep in touch with all her friends from school.
Back in Paris, for some, working at home isn't an option. Taxi driver Mustafa has seen business plummet, but he's still behind the wheel.
It's like being in a film. Unfortunately, it's not a film, it's real. It's weird to see Paris so empty with no tourists. With all that's going on, of course we're scared. When I leave in the morning, I kiss my wife and children goodbye, as if it was the last time. I'm just as afraid as everybody else, but I need to feed my family and pay the rent. What else can I do?
Weeks of lockdown, with no end in sight yet. Self-isolation is taking its toll on the morale of many. Phone calls or social networks help to stay in touch with the outside world. But feelings of loneliness or fear should not be ignored, according to psychologists.
People need to listen to their fears without giving in. If you just run away from those thoughts, then the fear grows stronger and will stay. Listening to your fears helps bring humility and wisdom and prudence. It's also important, though, to maintain as much contact as possible with other people.
There is a silver lining in these troubled times, with solidarity and community spirit stronger than ever. Like here in Montmartre, where neighbours check in on each other.
We go with the neighbours in groups of 2 to walk around the Montmartre hill and not be alone. We keep to the 2 metres social distancing rule, and we try to follow the rules so confinement ends as soon as possible, but it's not looking good.
Oliver G moved to the area last year. This Australian expat shares his adventures in Paris on social networks. The lockdown means he now barely leaves his small flat.
Not even once a day, I'd say once every couple of days for the required exercise and just a walk around the neighborhood. So it's nice to get some fresh air. When you're living in 30 meters squared, you need to get out a little bit. Merci.
The New York Times has just selected his podcast as one of the best to explore the world without leaving home. A remedy to confinement. And with his wife Lena, they have come up with a new idea.
Hello, how are you?
Hello, good evening.
I see people are already waiting. 120, wonderful. This is the Eiffel Tower pub quiz.
They host a pub quiz from their living room, broadcast on YouTube every Saturday evening.
Difficult, getting easier, all the same person. When I was born in the Côte d'Or in 1832...
Participants are self-isolating in France or abroad.
I've decided to do it. I'm going to be the most positive guy and bring the community together when we're all stuck at home. I think it's especially people who are at home, people who live by themselves maybe, or who have nothing else to do and they're sitting in front of their computer. They're probably loving Paris and France in general, and it's just a way of giving them something, interactive as well. You can answer the questions, you can talk with the other people.
Eva, Mustafa and Oliver, like everyone in France, are trying to cope with lockdown and the uncertainty. The war against COVID-19 is far from over. It will take weeks and more likely months to return to normal life.